Ben very upset after choking against Adelaide. How many times will this happen, Collingwood? I was very angry towards the end of game when I went to watch crazy match Adelaide Oval tonight. Ethan. Been tipping against Adelaide every single game this season. He's been going to the Adelaide Oval to watch the Crows play as a Port Adelaide fan. He's been going to watch the Crows play to watch them lose. And every time they win. Ethan might be jinxing it. Ethan might be jinxing everything. He always tips against Adelaide. He tips against Adelaide. Adelaide keep winning. He goes to the Adelaide Oval to watch Adelaide play, hoping to see him lose. And they keep winning. This is unfortunate for Ethan. It's very, very unfortunate. You know, sometimes life hits you hard. And it's definitely hitting him hard right now. I bet he tipped Collingwood. He never tipped Collingwood. Alright, let's go to the comments on this channel where I obviously post my tips now. Wrong title. It should say A for round 23. Is this a joke? Spelling error? So I accidentally titled the video round 22. But he said spelling error. Spelling error. It's a number, mates. You can't misspell a number. That's different. I think that's called a transposition error or something. It's called something else. When you write the wrong number, there's a different word for that. That's not spelling. It's a number. You can't misspell a number. Spelling are words. Words. This is not a word. 23 typed as 23 is not a word. You, sir, just made the list 23 times for that. I'm not letting up. That's 24 times in total. Ridiculous. Spelling error for a number. My days, mate. And now we've got his tips. Oh boy. I've gone to the wrong page. Saints by 28. Okay, got it right. Lions by 2. I don't know why I thought it was going to be a close game. It wasn't a close game, mate. Premiers last year will come back fighting unless I get this completely incorrect or something happens in the last minute, kind of like last week's game against Power, or the game is a draw, actually the hardest game to tip this week. No, it wasn't. You're saying that was the hardest game to tip? This game was harder to tip. Adelaide Collingwood was harder to tip by far. What do you mean hardest game to tip? Let's calm down here. Let's relax. We got to remember who the Lions are, and we got to remember who Freo are. If you remember who they both are, you know it's not the hardest tip of the week. But it was a hard tip. In fairness, it was a hard tip. Just not the hardest of the round. Let's relax there. Gold Coast by 12. Got that wrong, mate. Power by 28. There's another one. There's another one. That's twice because he's a Power fan, so he's definitely done that because of his biases. Yeah, his reasoning for Gold Coast, by the way, just feel like Gold Coast could win because they have home advantage. Right, didn't work out. It's not 2024, mate. Just feel like they will show something big for Ken because Carlton's season is finished because of consecutive losses. So is Port Adelaide's season. Their season is finished as well. I'm not sure that makes a difference, mate. But they got a game against Gold Coast. Maybe they can do something for Ken in that game. Hawthorn by 48. Not bad, not bad. Collingwood by 8. Collingwood have a plan to deconstruct. Okay. Let me put on the list already first before I read the rest of it. Collingwood have a plan to deconstruct Adelaide. We have seen previous years this happen. We have seen previous years this happen. You mean this will happen? That's another time. That's 29 times in total now. I feel like, see, there should be a full stop there, or a comma or something, or like a colon, I don't know. Not a colon, a semicolon. We have seen previous years this happen. I feel like Collingwood, like that's 2 sentences, mate. You started your sentence without a full stop. That's another one. This grammar, this bad grammar, needs to be stopped. It needs to be stopped. I feel like Collingwood will get hungry again as Collingwood charges towards finals, and I could get this completely incorrect as well. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. That's another time. 31 times so far. Now you're racking up. Now you're racking up the points. Now you've clearly overtaken Ben, if you hadn't already. Tigers by 29. Wrong. Geelong by 27. Okay, Bulldogs by 86. Right. He's now on the list 32 times. 32, and I think that's his last comment. So Ethan currently stands in 3rd place. I don't think either of these people will say something stupid enough to be on the list more times. So I think Fremantle 57 times are most on the list this week. 69-420 meme number 50 times for that ridiculous excuse for blaming the umpires for losing by 10 goals. That's just ridiculous, for being so confident. And it's like, it's the most biased thing. It's more biased than what Ethan's been doing the past few rounds. And in third place, it's quite clearly Ethan on 32. I don't think any of those will be beaten today. In fourth place is Ben on 7. That could be beaten, And in fifth place is tied between Graz and Carlo on 3. So that could be beaten too. So let's find out if it is. Music Edits 23, St Kilda by 15. Brisbane by 5. He's tipped Gold Coast. Music Edits, you just made a list. Port Adelaide, he tipped Port Adelaide. That's the second time. Hawthorn, yes, nice. Adelaide, 21. North Melbourne by 1. You take those. Sydney, he tipped Sydney. That's 3 times. Western Bulldogs. Just 3 times. He's now tied in 5th with Carlo and Graz. Round of applause. Now it's time for a very speedy dragon, the final comment of this episode, of this series of episodes. Essendon versus St Kilda, meaningless game. Meaningless teams that achieve nothing if they win. Like every other game besides West Coast Western Bulldogs would be a better primetime game than this dumpster fire of a game. Yeah, I still don't know how Essendon are getting all these primetime games. They got 3 Friday nights out of 4. Who are they paying? 4 out of 5 actually, including round 24. But round 24, there's actually a good reason why they're playing on Thursday. But yeah, actually no, that's on Thursday, isn't it? So it's not 4 out of 5 Fridays. They still had 3 out of 4 Fridays. Then they got a Thursday. It's just not fair. And they got a lot more primetime games before that as well. Like these last few rounds got decided mid-season. So they had an idea of who was good, who was bad. Somehow, despite knowing Essendon are bad, they still gave them more primetime games in the back end of the season. I don't understand. It makes no sense. Going to be a bad game, but I guess I will go St Kilda by, I couldn't care less. Good prediction. Saints by 13.
You just made the list! 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 You just made the list!